Hey guys, we shall continue answering these questions and we shall answer the third question as the second question. And Joe is asking, how do we relate with the Jews and yet we were born in Africa? Good question, and this question deserves an answer. So we're gonna go back to the book of Genesis so that we can find out, how did we end up in Africa? How did other people end up in Middle East? How did other people end up in the USA and in other places? The history gives about migration on how people moved from other places, but I'm gonna give you a short review from the Bible of how we came on. In the book of Genesis 5, if you read the end part, if you can read the whole chapter if you have time, but right now we are doing the video, so we're just gonna get straight to the point. We are hitting the snake at the head immediately. So Genesis 5 from verse 32, it says, this is after the genealogy of Adam and his children. This is how it goes. Then in verse 32 it says that, and Noah, after Noah was born, Noah was 500 years old. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So Noah gave birth to these three sons. And when he gave birth to these three sons, life continued. Now it came to pass that wickedness happened, and the sons of God, these are the fallen angels, they came and they gave birth with the daughters of us, with the daughters of humans. So they gave birth to children who were beasts, children who were mighty, children who were giants. And if you read in chapter 6, you may find it. If I can just read it from verse 1 to maybe verse 3, so that you can get what I'm talking about. This is what it says from Genesis 6 from verse 1. It says that, now it came to pass, when men began to multiply in the face of the earth, and the daughters were born in them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful. So these fallen angels, they saw that the daughters of men, they were beautiful. Hawa watu walikuwa mali safi. They were really looking good. And they were beautiful, and they took them wives for themselves, for whom they chose. So these sons of God, they choose whatever they chose, they took them as wives. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet he shall be 120 years. So this is where life goes from 800, 500, and it comes down all the way to 120 years because of these sons of God giving birth to children, and they gave birth to these giants. And this is how it says from verse 4. They were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children with them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. These are the men of renown, men of old. So after this wickedness, God thinks of wiping the earth with water, and he saves, and Noah finds favor in God's eyes. So Noah is saved by God through the ark with his sons. After he is saved by God and with his sons, Then the great floods comes in Genesis 7. You can read about that flood when it comes. Then Noah, from verse 8, Noah get delivered. And I want us to get to chapter I think is to chapter 11, so that we can find out how we got to Africa and other people got to other places. So this is how it says from Genesis 11, that now the whole earth had one language. So we all were speaking one language. Every man, every person, every woman, we had one language. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east and found prince in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there, they said to one another, come, let us build bricks and break them thoroughly. They had bricks for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, come, let us build. They said that, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top reaches heaven. Let us build ourselves a city which top reaches heaven. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, indeed, the people are one, and they have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now, nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their languages, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of the earth, and they ceased building the city. So this is the answer for your question. How did we end up in Africa? This is the answer, which is been said that when they were building the Tower of Babel, God saw that these people were of the same language, and whatever that they sought to do, it would not be withheld from them. Whatever they had purpose to do, because they were of the same language, they shall do it. So God confused their languages, and that's where we have languages. Even in Africa, we don't have the same language. We, as Africans, some have Swahili, some have other languages. It's because God saw it good for us, not so that we cannot be able to build that tower. And who knows what would have happened after. So that's how we end up in Africa, and others in the US, others in the... Me, I was born in Africa, and right now I'm in Washington, US. I used a plane, so that means us as the people, it doesn't matter where you are. We are all related by blood. Doesn't matter if you are from which language or which language. We are all related by blood, because we come from that one same tree, which is Adam. We have come all the way down. And another question I think you would like to ask is, why are we black and others white? That's a good question. Because, for example, if you see a white person intermarrying with a black person, one son can come as white and the other person can come as a black son. God chooses which color you will be. It's not your choice. God makes sure, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. If he wants you to be black, you are black. If he wants you to be white, you will be white. That's a non-issue. Either you are white or red or green. Even the flowers, not all of them are red. Some are white, some are green. And that's what makes life beautiful. So may God bless you as we go to the next question.